April 20th, regular business meeting, Town of Turner Valley. It is 6:30, we will open the meeting. Ms. Thompson, just wanted to clarify, we are live streaming, we've tested and checked, we're good?
We are live streaming.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, moving forward, call to order, adoption of agenda. Can I get a motion for that, please?
I can do that.
Councillor Gordon, all in favor?
1 second.
Mr. Todd, did you have something? No, you're good. Just for the viewers, we have Councillor Rabb, Councillor Holiday, and Councillor Wilkie on Zoom live. So, Councillor Rabb, if you could just say good day to everybody so they know you exist.
Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Perfect, thank you. Councillor Holiday?
Yes, it would help if I unmuted myself. I am here.
Excellent. And Councillor Wilkie?
Present.
Excellent. So just for the viewers at home, when we do have a motion, I'm actually going to call upon each of you individually, just so that they can hear how you voted, versus I can see on the screen, everyone here can see it, but we can't see it at home. So I'll call Rabb, Holiday, Wilkie, and you can say aye, yay, or nay, whichever you choose. So starting with the adoption of the agenda, all in favor, Rabb? See, you're waving at me, but I don't hear you.
Okay, well, I have to switch off mute. Yes, I'm a good.
There you go. Okay, Wilkie, Holiday.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. And here in the chambers, all in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. There you go. It's going to be a little bit painful, isn't it? Okay. Previous minutes. April 6th. Can I get an adoption motion for those? Councillor Waring, all in favor? Rabb, Wilkie, Cindy?
Yes.
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 And in-house? Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to take this quick moment to acknowledge Nova Scotia's tragedy and let them know that all our thoughts and prayers in Turner Valley are with the RCMP and the officers and the children of the deceased and all the towns and all the people of Nova Scotia that were affected. It's a tragedy that something like this could happen, especially in Canada. It's an anomaly for sure, but you are in our thoughts and prayers, and we wish you all the best in speed and health and wellness going forward through this time of remorse and regret.
You've got two on the screen there, John.
All right,
You've got
thank you for that. Question period. We have no questions from the public this evening. Is that correct, Mr. Sharp?
Correct.
Thank you. 6.1 statutory hearings, we have none. 7 delegations. We have 7.1 regional waste management plan, garbage collection pilot project presentation by Paul Lyons, manager of waste services of Town of Turner Valley. Due to the COVID-19 situation, we asked that Mr. Lyons phone in, so we have him on phone dial up right now. We will keep him paused until we get to the report, and if we so choose as a council to ask him questions, we will have him available. Otherwise, we asked him to stay home today so that we could just proceed in the safest manner possible. So we will use him coming up shortly. Reports 8.1, Chief Administrative Officer's Report. Mr. Sharp.
Nothing today, Mayor Crane.
Nothing today? Okay, thank you. How are our alleys?
They're melting fast.
Aren't they though?
Staff are traveling around town trying to do their best to stay on top of it.
Okay, excellent. I noticed a few culverts are getting inundated, but I see where staff has got the power wands out and working diligently to get those unblocked, so that's also good. Yeah?
Did you see the one on Country Meadow?
Oh, I did,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
That's a good one. All right, thank you. Administrative responses, we have no items. 10.1 inquiries, we also have no items. And bylaws and policies, we have no items. This is a streamlined agenda here today. Old business, this is what we want, meat and potatoes. Regional solid waste collection, garbage collection pilot project. Mr. Sharp, would you like to walk us through, and then we may have some questions for you.
Sure, thanks Mayor Crane. As you know, this evening we want to present a proposal regarding a garbage collection pilot project in the towns of Turner Valley, Black Diamond, and Okotoks. As you know, Mr. Paul Lyons with the town of Okotoks, who's been spearheading much of the work around this regional partnership, is on the line to answer questions following my short presentation this evening. Bear with me as I give you in the gallery a little bit of background. So in 2018, the towns of Okotoks, Turner Valley, Black Diamond, High River, Nanton, and Foothills County received an intermunicipal collaboration grant to continue working on examining options for regional waste management programs. Over a period of 9 months, the group developed the Regional Solid Waste Management Plan, also known as the RSWMP. The Solid Waste Management Plan provides a long-term vision for solid waste management with each of the participating municipalities and council. We'll recall that late last fall, you received a presentation on the results of that management plan. The Solid Waste Management Plan outlines that municipalities can benefit from collaborating in initiatives that could result in pooling of resources to reduce regional collection costs, building on current regional initiatives such as glass collection, which is already in play, allowing regional partners to understand the true cost of waste management services, and addressing the issue with underfunding or unfunded assets, as well as addressing service gaps, and certainly last but not least, the standardization of services and messaging that could benefit residents. In October of 2019, Turner Valley Council directed administration to work with each of the participating partners' administrations to develop an agreement and implementation plan. Currently, Turner Valley, Black Diamond, and the town of Okotoks have agreed to participate in a pilot project that would validate any of the assumptions found in the solid waste management plan and prepare for a regional delivery system. The plan for the pilot project would be to commence on June the 2nd, 2020 and wrap up on December the 31st of the same year, and to provide periodic reviews at the 3 and 5 month period, and of course reporting to council on the results upon the completion within 6 weeks of completion of the pilot. The estimated cost of the pilot project to Turner Valley is $48,000. That works out to $6.90 per household, and when you multiply that by the 1,165 customers or households in Turner Valley, that's where the $48,000 comes from. There are some additional costs for disposal fees. It remains to be seen what those costs will be, but for your context, in 2019 we paid $44,000 in disposal fees for our own garbage collection system, and some material fees of about $3,500. Coming the other way would be some modest rental income by the town of Okotoks, as they use our garbage truck as the operators for the pilot project. So I know you've gotten a proposal in front of you as part of the council package, so I won't go into too much detail. But some of the key points around the pilot project include, same or better service, an ability to track our collection system through what we call RFID, or a little chip that we put in the garbage that allows us to more easily track any errors in service or any missed collection items and other aspects of collection. There's certainly a long-term or monthly savings during the pilot to our customers, and not the least of which would be if we entered into a long-term partnership with Black Diamond and Okotoks for a regional solid waste collection project. We would not have to put out the $200,000 for our share of a new garbage truck with Black Diamond. For council's benefit, Black Diamond received this same presentation last week, and their council voted in favor of participating in the pilot project. The all-in price for the pilot project we estimate to be about $10 per household. Currently our costs are about $12 per month per household for our current garbage collection system, so the pilot would come in as a less expensive option during the next 6 months, and then we'll be able to validate the true costs during our report back to council after the 6-month pilot project. So tonight we're looking for council's blessing to proceed with the pilot project with Black Diamond and Okotoks. And if you have any technical questions on the plan, Paul Lyons is here to answer those questions for you this evening.
Excellent, thank you. I'm gonna go to our counselors at home first, Rab, Wilkie, and Holiday. Do you guys have any questions of Mr. Lyons to start? Counselor Rab, go ahead.
Yeah, only question is, will our operator be able to keep his job? Will he be used in the new plan going forward?
Sure. So I can answer that question through the mayor. So our current garbage man will be redeployed for the duration of the pilot project until such time as we decide if we're going to enter into a long-term project. But I should mention that that's about 2 days a week. And through our asset management data collection process for the summer, we're going to redeploy Mark to that rather than hire a second individual to support us in the data collection and condition assessments of our assets. So we're able to manage the change within our existing budget.
So do I understand then that he will keep his job for 2 days a week and you redeploy him other days, or what?
He'll
Same job those 2 days?
Yeah, he'll keep the other work he's doing 3 days a week, and we'll redeploy him for 2 days a week on the asset management project.
Okay, Wilkie?
Yeah, just, I mean, look at the actual service to residents. My understanding is, other than 1 day a week, there's no change in service here to any of the residents. Everything gets done on Tuesday.
Yeah, in fact, we're gonna extend the collection service the day of the week that the operators are in Turner Valley. So all of the town's garbage would be collected during 1 day a week, rather than 2.
Okay, Holiday, do you have anything? Go ahead.
She needs to unmute.
Sorry, Cindy, we're not able to hear you.
We can't hear you.
She needs to unmute.
I think you need to unmute her. Can you hit the unmute?
No,
That green button right there?
it's showing me.
Yeah, go unmute, click it. Try now,
Try
Cindy.
now, Cindy?
It then went back to mute.
No, it's not muted, it's unmuted right now.
Now click back to.
Hey, Cindy, are you able to, there's a dial-in site as well. Would you be able to call for that number? Because I know that those also work.
She's got to connect with audio.
Try
Just
that.
1 second,
Try that
Cindy, we
time.
can't hear you.
1 second.
I'll put the dial-in.
Mute audio, stop audio, chat. Just so everyone at
Welcome
home
back.
knows, we're just dealing with a technical issue here, trying to get Councillor Holiday unmuted. So just bear with us. While you're doing that, I can always ask in-house, any questions?
I was going to ask.
So Cindy, we'll just go to Waring, and then we'll come back to you once we get the technical issue figured out. Is that okay?
I was going to ask about how we're going to do it in 1 day, as we used to do it in 2 days, but that's already been answered, which is why I put my hand up. But I have one more question. At the end of the 31st of December period, we're looking at a 6-week period whereby things will be analysed and decisions will be made. In that 6-week or however long it ends up being period, will we just revert back to the normal situation, or do we have still the option to carry on as we're doing for that period?
Paul, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Paul, the question from Councillor Waring was, upon the end of December, while we're tabulating the results, would we just revert back to our own garbage collection systems, or would Okotoks carry on with the regional plan until such time as the report's prepared?
It would be more efficient for us to continue with the system as it stands. One modification that was made or requested by the town, where at 5 months we might have learned most, if not all, the lessons, so we would have a fair understanding of what could happen, and then over the next weeks at the end of the pilot, I see our administration all meeting together to finalize what we may have already known. But we would continue the collection. I think it would be beneficial, and to continue to still benefit from the efficiencies gained, to just continue until councils finally make a decision about the direction we should go in.
Thank you.
Does that answer the question, Councillor Rupp?
One more,
Where?
one more
Go
question.
ahead, yeah.
Or is Cindy working yet?
His mic, he needs a mic.
And we recently had a significant amount of money in the budget for a capital replacement of our bin wagon, and we did put that on hold until we decide what we do with this this test, and if everything works well, then I'm assuming we're going to carry on with it. If new capital equipment is needed once we're part of this group, how's that going to be handled?
So, through the mayor, as we enter into the long-term plan, if we opt into that, any sort of capital or maintenance costs that would be associated with that are part of the per monthly household fee. So there'd be no additional money to be chipped in periodically for new equipment.
Thank you.
Cindy, have we got you back yet? No? Okay.
Can you ask her to log out and back in?
Yeah, why don't you log out and then just call back in? It'll probably be quicker, and then join with audio. So just log out, come back in. Nothing will happen before you get back.
Another option, Mayor Crane, could be if it fails, we can have her text her, send her message to us.
There she comes. Wow, that was pretty fast, actually.
Hi.
There you are. Perfect.
Yeah. Sorry, we've had trouble with the microphone on the one computer, and then iPad had died at the beginning of the meeting, so it's my fault.
That's all good. You had a question?
Yes, but I can't remember what it that was on the time.
Okay.
That's my job.
Well, Waring, did you hear Waring's questions?
Yeah, I was listening.
Okay, excellent. Councillor Gordon has a question. Yep.
I know it was a while ago that we had the report presented to us, and there was a little bit in that report regarding recycling and compost possibility.
Yes.
Can you just refresh us on where that might be, if that's something that in the long term we can look down and include the recycling, include the compost, and have that done by one pickup?
Sure.
Yeah.
Paul, I'm gonna turn that one over to you, okay?
Yeah, if we could get the numbers on that, I'm pretty sure you know them, so.
So the GHD recommended doing composting program first. Over the years, though, we've seen that most municipalities, and Turner Valley and Black Diamond no different, have sort of earmarked to do recycling as the next step. So there are a couple of things that are already in place that Turner Valley can benefit from, and this include the fact that 2 years ago, when Okotoks went out for a contract to collect recyclable material, Turner Valley was added as an interested party. And so one thing is, once Turner Valley decides to go forward, then they can easily join the town of Okotoks and get the same set of benefits that the town of Okotoks currently enjoys with its collection partner, TNT Disposal out of Black Diamond. So that's one step. Other step would involve, and I think the capital on purchasing carts are one of the concerns right now. And so I would say that figuring out how to purchase the carts is one of the challenges right now. I have, on behalf of Turner Valley and Black Diamond, gone out and through a volume sale, through the volume sale ability that municipalities can use through RMA, I've gone out and I've already found a price on cards, and I've turned that over to Craig, who is the manager for operations. So he has some numbers regarding that. If it is council's will, I can continue to work with administration to refine numbers and to present council with a number that would help to start integrating more of the programs, maybe recycling first. And I think that as we work together, then the knowledge base that exists within the technical advisor group, and the fact that Okotoks continue to work on some of these programs, we'll be able to design programs that will increase diversion and reduce waste to landfill.
Thanks very much, Paul. I appreciate that clarity. I don't know if administration will need specific direction this evening to continue to look at those actual costs, bring some costs back, since Paul's been in contact with Craig already regarding the cost of the carts or the bins. I think that's a great option that we can look at. Perhaps even since we're not investing the capital in the truck, in the garbage truck, maybe we can earmark that towards the carts for the town. Might be something worth considering. But I'm all ears about that, Paul. That's thanks very much for giving us that update.
Excellent. Yeah, that's something that I think is definitely worth another conversation. A couple meetings from now, maybe we could have a look at that. So, Councillor Hamilton, and then Cindy. Did you remember what you wanted? You did. Well, why don't we go straight to you now, so you don't forget it.
So you don't forget again.
Thanks, Barry. No, I was just concerned that we had earlier, we're looking at redoing our garbage collection routes. Eventually school will hopefully be back in session, and making sure that we don't have any conflicts around the school area if we're designing to all pick up on Tuesdays. Just a thought, just wanted to bring up.
Right on. Excellent. Okay, Councillor Hamilton, you want to finish this off?
Thank you, Mayor Green. I had a question regarding our current garbage bins. They're substantially bigger than the ones that Okotoks currently has in place. I'm wondering if this pilot, are we planning on sticking with the bins that we currently have, or going over to the smaller bin, and then thinking ahead that if we do go to the smaller bin, we will definitely need to be providing some kind of recycle option, because well, I definitely think that the more we can divert from landfill, the better. Knowing what the size of those bins are, we'll have to make sure that we are offering some kind of recycling option as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we definitely have another conversation to have on recycling for sure.
Are the bins that we're going to be using during the pilot?
We're using the same pickup truck, which is already using those bins, so it shouldn't be a problem.
We will use the same bins for now during the pilot project. The only change will be a small little RFID tracker sticker for about $4 a piece that we'll put on that to track the procedure in the I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words. The location and the system that we're implementing and that sort of a thing. Moving forward, if we go to separate recycling options, we'll need to take a bigger look at that, because there are a lot of other discussions around recycling, whether it's single stream, multiple stream, that sort of thing. But for now, the blue bins that we have will suffice for the garbage collection system.
Excellent. Anyone else at home? Wilkie? Yep.
Great, bear with me while I get unmuted. Just the, so you mentioned the maintenance costs incurred will be paid for by Okotoks during the trial period. Just from a liability perspective, I mean, I assume that admin has kind of crossed all the T's and dotted I's on that. I guess, how does that end up getting handled? I only think, you know, if something were to happen with our equipment, operating in a different community, how that all gets managed, and maybe as simple as we've given it some thought. We'll handle it.
We're working through that, so there'll be an MOA, memorandum of agreement, between the municipalities as to what the expectations are, what the limits are, insurance liability, all of that sort of a thing.
Great.
I believe we do. Just one other question, could be an easy one. So if we're gonna pick it all up in one day, does that mean we have the one truck or we have multiple trucks in town? Is it a fleet or is it just gonna be ours?
Paul, one truck to do garbage in one day, right?
Yeah, that's correct, and that's building on the current efficiencies that we've seen and that we have been able to achieve in Okotoks.
Nice.
Different distances here.
Very well. Okay. I'll take a motion, Councillor Gordon.
Yeah, we'll go with option one here, that council agrees to participate in the Regional Waste Services Garbage Collection Pilot Program to commence on June 2nd of 2020 and end on December 31st of 2020. After which, if any long-term solutions are determined to be of benefit to members, a Regional Waste Services framework be brought forward for consideration by the participating municipalities.
Excellent, thank you. Any further discussion? Excellent. I'm gonna go to Councillor Cindy, Rab, and Wilkie for your votes, and then we will have ours here in house. So Cindy, in favor? Yeah.
In favor.
Rab,
In favor, yes.
Wilkie?
Yeah.
Excellent, and in-house, all in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous, perfect, thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Lyons, for attending on phone. Greatly appreciate all the work you've done towards this project, and we look forward to working with Okotoks as a partner and into the future.
Thank you,
Good night.
Mayor, and your council and administration for working with us as well.
You bet. Stay safe.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, that's great. All right, scrolling back here. Next we have pool operations and event plan update 2020. Mr. Sharp, if you would.
Thanks, Mayor Crane. Again, rather than go through the entire report, a little bit of background. As you know, sorry, just trying to operate.
Yep.
Operator error. As you know, through the COVID pandemic, a number of regulations have come down through the province that the town of Turner Valley has been adhering to. And as we move into some of our seasonal operations, we had promised council we would come back with some questions and recommendations for some facilities and special events. And tonight we present that to you. So without going through the entire report prepared by Ms. LeBlanc, the report is there for you. In a nutshell, what we're asking from council is to remain to following the regulations Government Alberta and AHS have put in place regarding our seasonal facilities. So that is, the pool would remain closed until such time as the guidelines or the restrictions have been lifted around gatherings and social distancing, at which time we would come back to council looking for a decision on what they would like to do with those facilities for the remainder of the season. Right now it's really difficult for us to look into the crystal ball and give you enough information to help you make a decision, but the truth is there is no decision for council to make at this time, because we're observing the regulations and restrictions that have been imposed by Alberta Health Services. Therefore, there's no ask of you on the pool or the campground at this time. With respect to special events, as you know, we have our own Discovery Days that's supposed to take place towards the end of June. Our neighbors to the east also had the parade on the same day and have chosen to cancel the parade. Turner Valley Administration's asking council that we postpone Discovery Days until the 15th of August, at which time we would circle back on the 1st of June with the new information that we have at that time, and then ask for council to make a determination on the future of that event. The same would apply to any events that might be third-party events that might be hosted or passing through Turner Valley. So for example, the Turner Valley Triathlon, of course, we would not allow it to have happen under the current guidelines. And we would offer a postponement to those committees hosting until beyond an August 15th date, until such time as we get more clarity from the province. A couple of things with the pool. We know it's going to take us about 3 weeks to spool up to get an operational posture at the pool. It may not be the full Monty of programs and services, but we know hiring, getting the pool up and operating and getting staff oriented would take us about a 3-week window. So keep that in mind. So as those regulations are potentially relaxed, we would come back to council immediately looking for a determination, knowing that anything that we do couldn't happen for another 3 weeks. The reason for the June 1st revisit of the special events is it would probably take us 2 to 2.5 months to get organized and offer the Discovery Day event, and so we believe June 1st is a good time to come back. If we don't have any more clarity around restrictions around gathering and other things that we must abide by, then we don't have any information yet on. We might have to make a difficult decision around Discovery Day, but for tonight we're asking to postpone that till August the 15th, revisit the decision on June the 1st, at which time we hope to have more clarity for you.
Okay, excellent. Any comments from council? Rab? You're good? Okay, Wilkie? Good, that's thumbs up. Oh,
Yes.
go ahead.
No, sorry, that was a hand.
Yeah.
I gotta be more clear with my request. Just on the campground, so the current public health orders do they actually prohibit camping at this time, or what's the current regulation?
That's a good question.
So right now, the province has decreed that that all provincial and federal campgrounds will be closed. When it comes to municipal and private campgrounds, that's outside of their jurisdiction, and so they're not saying they're not taking a firm stance on it. However, they're strongly making recommendations in those areas. So really, there are a couple key decisions or key pieces of information we weigh in there. And the first is Alberta Health Services is suggesting that anybody that's offering campsite reservations of less than 4-week blocks, or campgrounds that, so if you rent your campsites for more than 4 weeks at a time, potentially, if someone so chooses, or you have people who would seasonally make that ordinarily their home, so snowbirds, for example, or staff that might live in the campground, that's the starting point for whether your municipal or private campground can stay open. And then if that's the case, AHS is recommending a shopping list of things we should be doing to put in place to make sure that the risk mitigation is at its highest. So closing public facilities, self-contained camping, you need your own water and power source, and on and on and on the list goes. So that right now, in the absence of any clear direction from the province, those are the guidelines that they've been giving us. So just on a final point, so that is why you may hear of some municipal campgrounds, for example, being open, and some municipal campgrounds being closed.
Or just a
Yeah, go
quick
ahead.
follow-up on that. One of the reasons I ask is related to the RV and private property thing that we have going on right now, whether the campground potentially could be a resource for helping folks in that situation if they don't have room on private property. It sounds like the province isn't mandating zero camping, so if we wanted to implement something like that, I agree with the approach of for now, better safe than sorry, but I think it could be you know, just depending on how the situation evolves, something to keep in our mind.
I agree, Councillor Wilkie, thank you. Any comments from council here?
You just asked my question again.
Perfect. You're reading Councillor Waring's mind, Wilkie. You keep asking his questions.
Where did Cindy go?
Cindy is off base, so probably her internet connection, but we'll have her back. If that's all, guys, then I'd just like to point out that, of course, the pool and the spray park are Turner Valley's crown jewel. It would be just fantastic if down the road throughout the summer, you know, months from now, we can actually get to a point where this is still available for our citizens and the kids. So I'm very pleased to see an extension, and we'll revisit it as we move through the summer. Really happy with that. Councillor Hamilton.
I was just gonna give you a motion if you're
Oh,
ready for it.
absolutely. Fire away.
Okay, so, option one, that council consider providing, the three following recommendations. One, that council accept the report regarding the 2020 pool operations, and event report as information. Number two, that council agreed to postpone the 2020 Discovery Day event until August 15th, 2020, to be reviewed by council on June 1st, 2020. And number three, that council agreed that immediately upon the removal of provincial gathering restrictions, that council make a determination on the opening of the pool, campground, and other recreational facilities.
Excellent. Thank you. Any comments, final concerns, Rab, Wilkie?
Only that,
There's nothing there. Yeah, okay,
only
go
that
ahead.
we've lost Councillor Holiday's connection.
We have lost Councillor Holiday. So we'll continue, and she can phone back
It
in.
says it's from her end, so we'll just have to note that we
Just six
lost the
voting.
connection. Might I suggest that you vote on each of these separately?
All three separately? All right.
They can stay as all three being put forward by Councillor Hamilton, but vote on all three separately, please.
Okay, so just go number one, all in
Number
favor.
one, number two, number three.
Mhm.
Okay, so Councillor Rab and Wilkie, you're clear on the motions. I'm gonna call them out as option one, all in favor, option two, all in favor, option three. So you can both unmute,
Option one,
Not option, just option
one,
one
two.
point one.
option one, one, two, 1, 3.
There you go.
If you both unmute your microphones, you can just go back to back, yay or nay. So go ahead and unmute now, if you would. And all in favor of option one?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. So that's unanimous. Option 1.2, all in favor?
Yes.
That was 2 yeses from home. And unanimous. And option 1.3, all in favor?
Yep.
We got a yup and a yay from Wilkie. So there you go, that's unanimous as well.
Hell of a deal.
Okay,
Not unanimous, cause we don't have Councillor Hall.
well, we don't have Councillor. She's phoning in. Perfect.
We'll just take it this way.
Sure,
Yeah, let's do her.
take her vote.
Hello, Councillor Holiday. We just called for the vote on, the facility staff report and special events. So the motion by Councillor Hamilton was option one, as suggested by staff. And we're just curious to know how you would vote on each of those three recommendations.
Yeah, I would vote in favor of all of them.
In favor of all three?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, excellent.
thank you.
And just ask her if you can hear me, Cindy, do you have any questions for staff, Monique, or Mr. Sharp regarding any of the information for those motions?
No, I think it's pretty clear. We're at the mercy of provincial guidelines, so yeah.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
So Councillor Holiday, I'm just gonna mute, I'm just gonna leave the phone open so you can hear the rest of the meeting, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And forgive me if I'm wrong here, guys, but our next agenda item is the mayoral proclamation for Volunteer Appreciation Week. Okay, I will do that. So it's time to applaud Canada's volunteers, indeed it is. 2020 Volunteer Appreciation Week Mayoral Proclamation. Whereas the volunteer spirit and resiliency that helped to build Turner Valley is alive and strong today. And whereas each year, and especially now, many citizens commit their time and talents to improve the quality of life for our entire community. Whereas the skills, time, kindness, and compassion shown by our citizens in helping others during this unprecedented time of crisis is so deeply appreciated. Therefore, I, Mayor Barry Crane, do hereby proclaim April 19th to 25th Volunteer Week in Turner Valley. And I saw a beautiful article written in the newspaper about Miss Cindy Wright and her family who have already been volunteering. So I hope to see more articles from the Western Wheel for all the volunteers in our area and giving us a little background story on those. It would be nice to see. I don't need a motion on that. That's all proclaimed and done. Good. Okay, moving on. We have the Sheep River Health Trust Radiothon. And they are proceeding with the Radiothon this year. So that's the Sheep River Health Trust, of course. And what is the fundraising money going to this year? Do they have a specific project? I didn't notice offhand. Anyone? Portable ultrasound machines for Wellness Center. That's good. Inclusive playground for Dr. Morris Gibson. These are past contributions. Christmas feasts and fixins. School meal programs. Wheelchair accessible bus for Longview. There's no question that the Health Trust has done fantastic and amazing work in the past. I've attended many of their golf courses and their golf tournaments. And it's always been a pleasure, and I wish them all the best. And I'm sure we'll phone in on Radiothon Day and do our part too. Is there any request for funds here? I can't see any from this. We're good? Okay. Excellent. Accept that for information. Can I get a motion? Councillor Waring. All in favor? Cindy? That's okay. Good stuff, Rab. Did you want to speak?
No, I'm good, I'm just saying, yep.
Okay, excellent.
I said yes, but I forgot to unmute it.
Third world problems here in the technology world, eh? Okay, that's great. West End Sewage Commission. We have the financial statements here. Councillor Waring or Councillor Rab, would you like to make comment? Councillor Rab?
Chairman Rabbit.
Chairman Rab, you may have the
Chairman
floor.
Rabbit really like to speak, but I haven't figured out the technology of having you guys to look at or my agenda, so I'm gonna defer this to Councillor Waring.
There you go. Good job.
I'll make a motion that we accept it for information though, and then you can discuss it.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. Councillor Gordon has a question?
I do. Recently in the Okotoks Today, there was an article about the grant for the solar panels on the West End Regional. Does that impact the financial statement in any way, shape, or form, where that funding has not been received as was hoped?
I can answer that, Barry.
Okay. Councillor Waring?
No, the financial obligation of that is nothing impacting the actual operations of West End. I understand as well from an email that was received from Charlene Brown, the CAO of Black Diamond today, that there are still some other options available for funding for that project. The project itself, if it does go ahead, will provide economically priced electricity, most of which would be used to run West End, which means both communities would benefit from lower costs. So fingers crossed we get the money, because if we do, it will be a good thing.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? Wilkie? Yep. Go ahead, Wilkie.
Yeah, I did just have a question. The statement of operations has a write down of tangible capital assets on it, for $257,000. Just an accounting entry, obviously, not cash related. Just wondering if there's any additional information that you have around that at all.
No. What page is it on?
What page is it on, Councillor Wilkie?
Page 25 of the package.
23 of the agenda package.
Okay.
Or sorry, yeah, it's also on 25 as well.
Okay. Council Waring's just pulling it up.
I haven't got it. What page is it of the
Financial statements.
financial statement?
What page of the financial statements? He's looking at a separate one from the way it's done out here.
Page 6 or page 4?
Okay.
Under operating transactions, John, on page 6, fourth line down.
Yeah, I see it. Feeling.
He's getting there.
I've got a feeling that this was something to do with the project that we did with our own financing until we got the money back from the government, and the money came back.
I also think we had a problem with the pump. A main sewer pump that we had to replace, and I expect that we had to write that one off. Is that part of it, John? I can't recall. We had to replace the pump, and it was a major, like $100 and some thousand to replace the sewer pump, and that would happen in the last budget, I think. What else would we have had, John?
No, the only other thing.
I know what it is. It's the old line. It's
Yeah.
the old line.
We wrote off the old.
Totally.
Yeah,
That's what we're speaking.
Still been carrying it on the balance sheet. Yeah, that's.
yeah, we decommissioned the old line.
It's not a cash.
One at a time, one at a time.
But we shut the whole line down totally, so therefore there's no sense in counting it as an asset anymore because it's useless, it's in the ground. And that's what it was, correct, John?
Yeah, you're correct, Gary. You've reminded me on that one. Yeah, the old line from Turner Valley to Black Diamond, which had the break-in and the blockage that we couldn't find. Eventually, we decided to keep that line on the to write the line off basically.
And we just wrote it off.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, good troubleshooting.
We were, Councillor Wilkie, we were carrying it as an asset because we used to use it. But because it got plugged up and we weren't able to mitigate that problem, we decided to shut it right down. So that piece of line that was of value is useless.
Yeah.
And that's where it got written down. So that's it right there.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a motion to accept for information. Any further questions? Comments? Good? Okay. I'm gonna call the question. All in favor? Cindy?
Yeah.
Brad?
Yep.
Wilkie? Yep, good. He gave me a sign language of a double thumbs. He's good.
With 2 fingers.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Moving on, I think our next one is Shruck. Again, I've got to scroll about 20 pages here to get to Shruck. Here we go. Shruck Regional, Sheep River Regional Utility Corp Board of Directors meeting. Councillor Hamilton, would you like to make a motion to accept for information and speak to the minutes?
Sure, I can, or I've also, Family Services is also on here, so if Cindy wanted to speak to it, or,
Okay, sure. Cindy or Waring, either one.
Oh, that's Cindy.
Okay, Cindy?
Yeah, I could speak.
Yep, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, we have a set of minutes as well as the financial statements. So a couple things in there that are mentioned in the minutes. They were going to do lead testing around town, but due to COVID, they've decided going into people's houses this year isn't a good idea, so it's postponed. There's also mention on page 43 of we had some issues with one of our wells that was over the maximum allowable for manganese,
Well, thank you. And if you want to give us a motion to accept for information?
She did.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Any comments, concerns? Wilkie, Rab? Both indicating they're fine. Councillor Waring?
Yeah, Cindy correctly pointed out about the manganese problem with that one well. We can transfer the license of that well to the other systems, and so it won't create a accessing water problem. We've got the capacity still to get the same amount of water.
Well, that's good to hear. All right. No further questions or comments? All in favor? Cindy?
Yeah.
Rab's a yes.
Yes.
Wilkie is a yes.
Yeah.
Perfect, there you go. And that's carried, thank you. And again, I'm just scrolling the audits here. Do we need a separate one for the audit information?
No, it's all.
That's all in one. All right, Lana. Councillor Hamilton, Foothills Family Community Sports Services.
Yeah, so these minutes were from our February meeting. All of the funding applications were put forward, and the committee did their approvals. You guys can see there what was approved and what wasn't, and the amounts that were given to those community programs. That's kind of it for that meeting.
Mhm.
Since then, also kind of outside of our FCSS group, the provincial government did have that 30 million that they had contributed to kind of additional funding for the community support services due to the COVID crisis. The application deadline for that closes on tomorrow, I think, 21. They've been inundated with requests, I think a lot more than they were maybe expecting, so they did shorten the timeline on that. And our Manette LeBlanc was able to work with some of our local groups to get some applications vetted and into the province for that, so here's hoping they get the support they're looking for. That's it.
Excellent, thank you. And motion to accept for information?
Yes, I'd love to give you that motion to accept
Excellent.
the information.
All in favor? Any questions first? No, good, okay, all in favor? And Wilkie, Brad,
Yeah.
Cindy?
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. And we have library board, so I will give you the motion for the library board to accept for information. And just to speak to that, you can see there's two sets of minutes. It was with great regret that the library board decided finally to shut down for April 15th. All services, Marigold Library Services couldn't continue with the same level of risk of us handing out more and more information, more books and everything COVID. So we made the decision as a board to shut it down for April 15th until further notice, and of course we'll follow all the provincial mandates, regulations and concerns. Safety will be first and foremost, but it sure is a sad thing when you see the libraries close in the community. And we actually received an amazing letter from one of the employees talking about, I don't want to mention it, but just thanking the board for making the tough decision and how passionate they were to be working there and how they look forward to getting back to work when the time comes. So to receive a letter when you hand out layoff slips and to receive a letter in turn to say thank you was quite an emotional moment for our board. So it was really nice to have that sense of camaraderie with the staff at the library, and we wish them all the best as we move forward. So until then, everything digital that we can do will be done, and that's about it. So question, Councillor Waring?
No, just a comment.
Yep.
All the normal digital services in Marigold are still available online.
That's right. So everyone's getting a crash course in digital homeschooling, I'm pretty sure. Well, if you got kids, you are anyway. Councillor Gordon?
Yeah, I noticed in the 2 o'clock meeting, point number 2, they looked at other libraries that were maintaining a skeleton staff, just to confirm our library the staff have all been furloughed, there's nothing skeleton moving.
That's correct. Yeah, we had them do all the cleaning, disinfecting, everything possible they could do up until the point where we made the final decision, so. Yeah, so we're good. We actually do have a couple hours they drop in to just check on the digital,
That's what I was asking.
and that's it.
Okay.
So really, it's nothing more, so. Okay, all in favor? And Wilkie, and Rab, and Cindy.
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. And that concludes our April 20th meeting. So everyone at home, remember, be safe, be courteous, be kind. Don't be a Facebook Karen. There you go.
Are we